Genesis makes a mistake, a big one. At least, that's what skeptics have been saying for 200 years. And on paper, they have a point. Stick around, though, because by the end of this video, you're going to see that same mistake show up in a particle accelerator. And the strangest part isn't even the one you're thinking of right now. Here's the problem. Skeptics love to bring up, there was evening and there was morning, the first day. Seems harmless enough, until you remember one detail: the sun doesn't show up until day 4. So how do you get a morning and an evening, 3 whole days before the sun even exists? For philosophers of the Enlightenment, this was the perfect punchline. Proof, they said, that Genesis was just a Bronze Age campfire story, written by people who didn't even understand their own timeline. Case closed, or so they thought. Because 2 centuries later, when modern cosmology tried to reconstruct the actual first moments of the universe, using math, not mythology, physicists ran straight into the exact same paradox: light without a sun, and they had to explain it somehow. What they found is stranger than anything a skeptic could have written as a joke. Let's go back to the beginning. The real beginning. Right after the Big Bang, the universe entered what scientists call the Photon Epoch. It was hot, not summer day hot, but hot enough that electrons couldn't even settle into orbit around atomic nuclei. Every single time one tried, it got blasted apart again by the sheer chaos around it. No atoms, no matter, not as we understand it today. Just an opaque, blinding, white, hot fog of pure light, trillions of photons slamming into particles and each other, trapped, scattering endlessly, going absolutely nowhere. Here's the detail most people miss, and it's the one that makes this whole story click into place. That light already existed. It was already there, filling the entire universe. But it was trapped, locked inside a dense fog it couldn't escape. The universe, in a very real sense, had light without illumination, energy without visibility. It would take almost 400,000 years before that light finally broke free, before the fog cleared enough for photons to travel in a straight line for the first time in history. Scientists call this moment recombination, the instant the universe became transparent. Some people look at that timeline and can't help but notice something. A formless, chaotic state, light present but not yet, and then a moment where everything opens up and the light finally travels freely across the universe. Make of that what you will. We're just laying out what the data says. And that light didn't just disappear once it escaped. We can still detect it today. It's called the cosmic microwave background, a faint afterglow stretched out across the entire sky, the literal fossil of that first light, still reaching us 13.8 billion years later. But we're not done yet, because there's one more piece to this puzzle, and it comes straight from Einstein. And it might be the strangest part of the entire story. According to relativity, light does not experience time, none, zero. If you could somehow ride on a photon the instant it was created, from your perspective, no time would pass at all between then and now. Even if you traveled to the edge of the observable universe, which means something extraordinary. If the first act in the universe's story was the creation of light itself, then that is the exact moment the universe's clock started ticking. Not the sun, not the stars. Light, the very first line of Genesis, is where time itself begins. So let's be honest about what this is, and what it isn't. Genesis was never meant to be a physics textbook. Nobody's claiming Moses had a whiteboard and a copy of Einstein's field equations. But whoever wrote that ancient text down described events in the exact same sequence modern cosmology spent centuries and billions of dollars in satellites and particle accelerators trying to reconstruct from scratch. Darkness, then light without stars, then expansion. And only after all of that, the formation of stars, the sun and the planets, darkness, light, expansion, celestial bodies in that order. Every time. So here's the question nobody's laughing about anymore. How did a text written thousands of years ago in the Bronze Age, with no telescopes, no satellites, no mathematics capable of describing an expanding universe, get the order right. An order we only confirmed a few decades ago using tools its author could never have imagined existing. Coincidence? Ancient insight passed down through generations we've lost the origin of. Something we still don't fully understand. That's genuinely for you to decide. We're not here to hand you a conclusion, just the pieces. But if this is the kind of question that keeps you up at night in the best possible way, you're exactly who this channel is for. We're walking through the entire Bible in the exact order it happened. One discovery, one paradox, one connection at a time. And this is just the first stone. Hit subscribe, turn on notifications so you don't miss where this goes next, and check out the rest of the chronological playlist. The next episode picks up right where this light left off, and it gets even stranger from here.